Here's one good story, man, and I don't know if I've ever told you this. From my infantry time, right?
Okay.
So this was in 2003. So this is the third trip where I've been in a risky area. Third time in my life at that point. So I was seasoned to some degree, but I was on the scout team and we fucking got put out at this spot. They said at this point we just came in Iraq, first push in Iraq in the war. We won the war, right? We took up, Saddam's army was defeated, and this is before we actually knew what the what was it called? When people started coming in Iraq and we started facing terrorists coming from other countries into Iraq.
Okay.
My mind just went blank. I'll think of it in a second. But
Drew, was that the same year you were there?
No, I was part of the second rotation.
and when they first started, they didn't know that it was going to change like it did and become irregular and fucking more guerrilla type warfare, right? So it was cut and dry. We came in, we took over. Now let's start doing humanitarian efforts and fucking who needs water, who needs medical supplies, who needs educational supplies and all that. And then the Muslim world didn't take that kindly to that, and they started fucking infiltrating into Iraq and doing crazy shit, blowing up cars and suicide bombers and all that other shit. Well, anyway, during that time, they had us fucking doing busy work at the beginning, like because we wasn't sure what was going on, like how the battlefield was changing right in front of our face. It takes time for that information to get spread out and the new policies to be, new tactics, techniques, and procedures to be adapted. So people were getting killed in Baghdad, and we were north of Baghdad, and they had us going out as scouts and fucking like, hey, you're gonna go at night and recon this intersection from a field. You'll watch it from a field, and we think people's gonna start burying IEDs, those improvised explosive devices. All right, so they're like, go out and do this. So we go out there, and I'm a team leader, squad leader, whatever you want to call it, of a 5-man recon team, right? I'm the senior guy. And we go out, and what you don't know on a map, you can do map recon and, generally see where you're going. And it looks like it's just going to be a field, but there's Bedouins in Iraq, meaning like these fucking people that just wander with goats and sheep and fucking from place to place. And the map's not going to show that, obviously. Don't look like a village or a built-up city. They just fucking camp out in a motherfucking field.
But
randomly.
they've got a bunch of tents and...
Yeah, so we get out there on top, or where we're supposed to be at, and we're moving from point A to point B, where we got dropped off at, inserted to where we're gonna go and observe this intersection, and there's Bedouins, and I'm fucking like, well, we can't just fucking. I'm calling it up, hey, there's people right here, but it was so dark that night. We had nods, NVGs, the night vision goggles. And it was so dark because it was so cloudy and dark. There wasn't a lot of fucking illumination as far as stars and the moon, so you couldn't even see, like, without the nods. Even with nods, you need some illume. It helps use the light that you have available to you, right? But you couldn't even see your hand in front of your face, like
That's that black.
that black.
Yeah.
So we're like, all right, with that going on, I called up and let them know there's Bedouins, but we're gonna try to skirt around them. I think we can still got room without going too close to the road that we're trying to stay off of. We'll stay in the field, we'll get around them, we'll just be quiet, and they won't see us because they just fucking can't see shit out here. Because we can see them, one of them was smoking, you see cigarettes, and they had about 4 or 5 tents, and they were kind of spread out maybe in a 100-yard square area. So we're like skirting around, and I'd walk a little bit, and we'd take a knee, listen, just taking it slowly, fucking not rushing. We got around them, right? On the other side of them, there was a slight incline in the field. And in the far distance, there was a village. You had lights from a village, way out there. And apparently, as we were walking away from them, like, we're already past, got through there, nobody seen us, no compromise. But they must have been looking that way, and they seen us. We got skylighted, basically.
Oh.
I didn't anticipate that, and fucking how we knew we got skylighted is we're walking, and we're still staying in our fucking tactical formation, moving. And a pop shot, pow, or a rifle from behind us, or a long rifle, shotgun of some sort. It didn't come close. You can tell when they get close because it was like zings, but it was just pow. And of course we're gonna fucking rest. So we hit the fucking ground and we didn't start shooting. We didn't know what it was. It could be somebody shooting. People have guns out there all the time. They hunt. They fucking shoot fucking coyotes or whatever. So we're like waiting. I'm like, I call it up. I'm like, hey, I don't know if we've been compromised. there is a shot from the camp. We're moving away from them, and I'm starting to pay attention. I'm like, I think we're skylighted, you know, like the way we're moving. Like now they see us by the village lights off miles away, you know, somehow they skylight. Well, I'm trying to figure all that out, and I'm reporting as I do it to base. And then they shoot again, bow. And then we're looking with our nods, and we're like using our lasers, looking around, because I got one guy pulling rear security to where we were going, but everybody else is looking back to where the camp is. And we start seeing people moving and like almost maneuvering on us. Like I see like 3 dudes come over here, like trying to get an angle, and you can see they're trying to like use the skylight to fucking see us. They're like trying to get lower because we're flat now, because we're like, hey, what the fuck's going on? So we're seeing all that happen, and I'm reporting. I'm like, hey, I think.
How far were you from them?
Probably 100 yards.
Okay, so pretty close.
Yeah, football field away at the most. But it's so dark, you know, and they're right there. We're seeing with nods maneuvering, and I'm like, I'm trying to figure out. I give these guys the benefit of the doubt because I didn't want to kill innocent people. I'm like, I'm calling this up, and I'm talking to my guys with them, like, you know, keep your eyes open, don't shoot. We're not shooting yet. Nothing's close to us. We've heard a couple pop shots at this point, but nothing's zinging. Nothing's like, there's no dirt kicking up. I'm like, maybe they're just fucking like, they think they see something. They think somebody's
Scaring
coming
it
up to
away.
steal their sheep or whatever. They're just gonna pop a couple. I was like, all right, well, no harm, no foul. I know the difference in being shot at and guns going off in my area, right? So we're waiting. I'm calling them. Like, all right, I'm reporting everything. I'm like, I think they're not shooting at us, but they definitely see us somehow, and maybe they think we're fucking just some assholes. And I'm thinking through it, and I'm like, well, you know, there's a pretty distinguishing features if I am skylighted with a helmet and fucking this big fucking nods on my fucking face. Like, these guys ain't stupid. Like, if you see that, you know there's American forces in this fucking area. So I'm thinking about that too. I'm going through that process in my head. I'm talking it through with my assistant team leader. I'm like, hey, let's just fucking hold what we got. Nobody's getting close to us. Keep our fucking guns up. We're ready to fucking wreck shop if we have to. And it kind of sucks too, being the leader there. And I'm like, we're compromised. You never want to be, if you're a reconnaissance fucking team, you don't want to be compromised.
So you fucked up.
Yeah, I feel like we're fucked. You know, this mission's over. Obviously, we're fucking compromised. What are you gonna do? Like, I wasn't too butthurt about it. But you want to do good on anything you do. Like, what can I do? Those Bedouins out in this fucking field.
Yeah.
All right. But I didn't want us to die because we got compromised. But I see them moving, and we're paying attention, calling up everything I see. I see them moving, and then they start shooting a little bit closer to us. It's like they're fucking, I'm actually seeing dirt kick up, and then we're actually hearing zings, and we're flat, and I'm like, hold. Finally, I'm talking, and we didn't all have radios at that point in time. We had one guy that carried a radio, RTO, radio transmission operator or whatever. And I got the fucking mic with the cord. I'm talking, and a fucking round just fucking right by my head. And I was like, we're engaging. Boom. And we just started letting loose. And we got tracers in our guns. We set the fucking camp on fire because
That sucks.
well, we broke contact. So we fucking fire superiority, blah, just killed them, went crazy, cyclic on their ass to get,
Sure.
to establish ourselves. And we bounded back quick over a little berm type deal where we were out of the line of fire for the most part, right? And wasn't skylighted anymore.
Sure.
But I remember we couldn't really, our lasers, we didn't use our lasers. I wasn't fucking as trained, and we didn't do a lot of night training in the infantry.
Why didn't you use them?
Well, we had these old PEC 4 lasers,
Okay.
but one of those things, like you'll fall back to your highest level of training, right? We trained with them, but we didn't train with them. We never fucking did real canned type shit, or you just zeroed it, and you didn't fucking like do stuff at night where you actually had to fucking work through things.
What he's describing is a device that mounts on the rifle that they could see through their night vision that points like a laser beam in the dark.
Right.
And the adversary couldn't see it.
Yeah.
It's magical, actually.
I should have fucking used it. I didn't call anybody to use it. None of my guys used it, but I was using tracers because the way we did it then, every third round or every fifth round we had in our magazine was a tracer, and I would use that so I could see that with my eyes and with my fucking nods. I could see the orange. So I seen where they were with nods, but then we would just fucking kind of hold that spot area and fucking engage.
Damn.
But we lit up everything. It was on fire. We heard screaming and yelling from women and children in the fucking place. We didn't shoot those. We shot at the men that were maneuvering on us, but they were screaming because they were fucking scared, or either we shot their people or whatever. And we're like, hey, we engaged. We're not sure what they got. And in my head now, I'm thinking well, they got a lot of military age males with guns shooting at us, because there's at least 5 that I see maneuvering. Like, is these the people we came to watch?
Yeah.
Later on, I realized I was thinking that we wasn't even supposed to, they was putting us out there for busy work, didn't expect none of that, and that wasn't really a thing at all, and they just putting us out there. And I realized that I think our battalion commander put us out there without getting authorization from higher, and probably wasn't supposed to do that. And we got stirred up a little bit more than we should have, and they didn't want nothing to do with that anymore. So we got our QRF, our quick reaction force, coming to get us in vehicles. They're driving through the fields, and we're talking to them. They're coming, and we're gonna, exfil into the vehicles when they come up on the road, and they get there, and we get in. I'm like, hey, that's, because I'm ignorant. I'm like, as far as I know, like, this is who we're looking for. Like, there's a lot in that fucking camp, a lot of guns with military age males. We should fucking go and raid this motherfucker and find out, do SSE, sensitive site exploitation, and figure out what they got. Like, this is the people we're looking for, I bet. So I stumbled into them. Okay, we'll take it. And they're like, nah. They said, let's get the fuck out of here. And after that, never talked about it again. And that's where I started gaining the realization, like, maybe that wasn't authorized. But I'm speculating. I don't know.
What were you, maybe 22, 23 at the time?
Yeah, I was young. But going back, this is the big part of that. Like, we fucking lit the grass was on fire.
From the
everywhere
tracers.
we shot from the tracers. It shit looked like fucking, it was carnage in my mind, and my second in charge, my assistant team leader, Zuko, he's like, Sergeant Durham. I remember he was right beside me, because we're safe now. We're over the berm. We just fucking broke contact far enough where we're not receiving effective fire. They stopped shooting anyway once we lit their ass up. They were like,
fuck.
They figured out real quick they didn't want to play with that. They kicked the hornet's nest. And I get it. They had single shot rifles or something, and we fucking let it loose on them. So we're over the thing. He's like, hey, drop my nods.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, besides all the other shit going on, going through my head, I'm like, I'm not losing any fucking sensitive items out in this bitch. So I'm like, where? And he's like, where we were last. And I'm like, all right. I had my guys spread out so they could cover us and give us a lane to move in where they could still shoot. So I spread them out left and right. And if anybody that was there with me hear this, if I'm wrong, correct me. But this is the way I remember it. Pretty sure I spread y'all out, right? Had one guy looking forward and everybody else looking back at the field.
I'm pretty sure I spread you all out.
Yeah. Well, I was like, with me and Zuko, I was like, well, me and you's going to get him. I'm not sending anybody else to get our shit. Me and you's going. And if somebody's getting shot, we're going to get shot. But I'm not leaving these fucking odds. And I was like, are you down? He's like, yeah. He didn't want to lose them either. Like, So we're freaking like, all right. I was like, we're gonna have these spread out and watch. I was like, ready? We're moving. We took off. We bounded kind of. It was just a quick bound, maybe less than 50 yards. Fucking bound up. Fucking went to our spot. Generally, we're looking at the ground with nods. I told you how dark it was, so we're fucking just kind of semi-guessing. We're hoping we're going quick, because we're like, these motherfuckers might, I don't know if they're fucking, looking down the sights at us, waiting for us to pop up again. So we're fucking running, and we're just watching. I'm like, motherfuckers better not shoot. I'm going to fucking kill these motherfuckers. We get up over there, and we fucking find his nods. He's like, got him. I'm like, all right, let's go. Bound back. He bounced back. And I let him get set, and I fucking come back, and we get back over the berm, and I'm like, that was a fucking huge victory for us. Like, we're not losing these nods.
You got in trouble?
No, I didn't get in trouble.
No, I said, would you have gotten in trouble?
Oh, well, it would have been written off somehow, but, I mean, shit happens in combat, right? Shit just broke or lost. But it would have been a hit on my fucking reputation, obviously. Like, hey, I don't lose shit. It sounds stupid now to think about, like, well, who gives a fuck? Why would I risk my life for something like that? But I felt like we had it under control. I wasn't too concerned about them fucking, laying us down. Once we fucking established.
Would you do that again for some nods right now?
It's weird. I mean, depending on if I felt I had control of the situation like I did at that time. I mean, I was scared, but I felt like I had control of the situation. It was more so also for Zuko, because I wasn't going to let my buddy fucking lose his shit. You know what I mean? Zuko was my second in charge, and, like, I didn't want him to have to bear the embarrassment of fucking, like, losing his shit. They're supposed to be tied down. We tied him down. I think it came loose or fucking something. Whatever he did,
Yeah, shit happens. Yeah.
We always had shit tied down, but I was. It's funny. I'd be willing, and I tell this to many people, like, all the fucking missions we did I give a fuck so much about what the actual mission was or the purpose of that mission so much as I gave a fuck about, hey, you got to go on the mission, I got to go on the mission. I'm going to take care of you, you take care of me. I can't say that they compare. Like the mission never meant, because once we're working for a big military fucking political force, like I know I don't really know what the grand scheme of things, what their true intent is. Why are we doing this in this area? You get some information, but some of that's just spin. Mm-hmm. You just need to know, hey, we're doing this because democracy, this guy's a bad guy, he's killing fucking these people, and and we need to go get him. And we're gonna build intelligence off of the information we get from him to get his buddies. That's what the fucking mission is. Is it clear? Is it that cut and dry? No. There's fucking political fucking agendas.
Sure.
So that being said, once I've fucking come to terms with that as I became older and understood, matured as a military guy in war, I knew that was a bunch of bullshit, but I chose to be there, and I'm gonna fucking do it good for my own reputation and to protect those with me. So that's what the mission was about. I want to be good for you. Like, we're gonna go do it, and it's gonna be fun. We're gonna fucking get excited and do crazy shit, but we're gonna fucking protect each other. So in that moment, Zuko fucking losing his shit, I ought to fucking risk my life for him just to fucking save face for him. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, if we were under fucking about to die,
sure,
overwhelming fire facing us,
fuck
I'm not
those
gonna
things.
go for it. We're out.
Yeah.
But we had to control the situation relatively.
Is this how you would deal with overwhelming fire?